Islam Makhachev, the reigning UFC lightweight champion, recently made headlines at a press conference where he addressed his upcoming rematch with Arman Tsarukyan. While many fans were eager to see the two fighters face off again, Makhachev made it clear that he wasn't thrilled about the idea of another fight with Tsarukyan, citing his unimpressed reaction to Tsarukyan's last performance. It's not make sense when you have rematch. I need some new challenge. But if then I won, let's do it. No problem, Makachev stated. The fight, however, is reportedly happening at the insistence of UFC President Dana White, and fans are buzzing about whether this rematch is about settling old scores or part of UFC politics. In a recent interview, Makachev reflected on his first encounter with Tsarukyan back in 2019. Makachev described that fight as tough, but far from the hardest of his career. He admitted that part of the difficulty came from underestimating Tsarukyan, who was a short-notice replacement and largely unknown at the time. Now, with the rematch looming, Makhachev is confident that he'll be able to finish Tsarukyan and silence any critics who still doubt his skills. Second fight, I will be looking for the finish and make everybody shut up, he said. Makhachev, who is widely regarded as one of the most dominant fighters in the lightweight division, has all the right to be confident. However, his words about Tsarukyan's struggles against high-level opponents have caused some stir. He bluntly stated, Arman struggles against high-level opponents, explaining that wrestlers with solid defenses tend to expose Tsarukyan's weaknesses. He beat the old guy because they don't have wrestling. But when someone has good wrestling skills, he always has trouble with guys like me. It's going to be the same again. Makhachev, who prides himself on his grappling skills, confidently declared that Tsarukyan would struggle with his level of wrestling and defense, much like he did in their first encounter. Former UFC champion Daniel Cormier also weighed in on the fight between Makhachev and Tsarukyan. Cormier praised Makhachev for his dominance in the lightweight division, noting that Makhachev's victories have been so comprehensive that any competition against him is often seen as a major achievement for the opponent, even if they don't win. He acknowledged Tsarukyan's growth since their first fight, suggesting that Tsarukyan is now better equipped to challenge Makhachev in their rematch. Cormier highlighted that Tsarukyan has been waiting for the opportunity to prepare properly for a rematch and believes that the upcoming clash could represent one of the biggest challenges for Makhachev. I think these are the two best lightweights in the world. Makhachev has looked amazing, but I do believe this is the biggest and best fight for him unless he's doing something different in another weight class, Cormier said. Dana White, meanwhile, has been full of praise for Makhachev's incredible career, particularly his undefeated streak, which has spanned nearly a decade. White highlighted Makhachev's impressive record, especially his victories over former world champions in his last 4 title bouts. White pointed out that Makhachev's 14-fight win streak further cements his status as one of the sport's elite fighters. Despite Makhachev's overwhelming dominance, Arman Tsarukyan remains undeterred. At the press conference, Tsarukyan made it clear that he plans to surprise Makhachev in their upcoming rematch. Tsarukyan, who has spent years waiting for this opportunity, is confident that the time spent training and improving has sharpened his skills to a level that will allow him to challenge Makhachev. So he's going to be surprised on January 18th. I want to get a bonus. That's why I'm doing that, Tsarukyan boldly declared. The highly anticipated fight will take place at UFC 311 at the Intuit Dome in Los Angeles, California. As UFC 311 draws near, all eyes are on the rematch between Makhachev and Tsarukyan, which promises to be one of the most thrilling events of 2025. Fans are eager to see if Tsarukyan can overcome Makhachev's dominance and make a statement in the lightweight division. UFC analyst Jamahal Hill weighed in on the fight, affirming that Makhachev is the rightful favorite. Hill praised Makhachev's exceptional track record and pound-for-pound status, but reminded fans that in the world of fighting, anything can happen. He should be the favorite. He's the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world right now. His performances have left not much room to doubt him. He should be the favorite, but at the end of the day, it's a fight, Hill said. Hill also acknowledged that Tsarukyan has been steadily improving, and noted the intense competition between both fighters. I've seen Islam. He's been out here the last couple of days. He looks big. He looks strong. He's been working. But Arman's been putting it together. I believe it's an interesting fight. It can go either way, Hill stated. The fight between Makhachev and Tsarukyan is shaping up to be a true test of wills. Makhachev's dominant grappling and tactical control have made him a force to be reckoned with in the lightweight division, while Tsarukyan's dynamic striking and relentless pressure pose a real challenge for Makhachev's grappling-heavy approach. UFC welterweight fighter Wen Buckley weighed in on the fight, expressing his belief that predicting the outcome is difficult. He mentioned the uncertainty surrounding Tsarukyan's improvements since their first fight, and noted that it will be interesting to see how Tsarukyan adjusts in this rematch. I don't think anybody got anybody numbered, to be honest with you. So, we'll see what Arman has changed up and what he will do different, Buckley said. Although Buckley picked Makhachev to win based on his track record, he acknowledged the unpredictability of the matchup, especially with a hungry challenger like Tsarukyan. Islam is just a dominant champion right now, so I would just pick Islam. But you never know, especially when you've got somebody that's hungry and determined to become a world champion themselves, Buckley added. The first fight between Makhachev and Tsarukyan, which took place in April 2019, was an impressive display of skill from both fighters. Makhachev won the bout by unanimous decision, with the judges scoring it 30-27, 30-27, and 29-28 in his favor. Despite the loss, Tsarukyan earned a Fight of the Night bonus for his performance, which showcased his potential and resilience. Reflecting on that fight, UFC bantamweight Adrian Yanez noted the challenges Tsarukyan faced by stepping in on short notice. It was a very close fight the first time they fought, especially on Arman's short notice, Yanez said, adding that he's excited to see how the rematch will unfold. UFC coach Javier Mendes, who works with Makhachev at the American Kickboxing Academy, praised both fighters for their significant improvements. Mendes acknowledged Tsarukyan's enhanced striking, submissions, and overall mentality, particularly his pacing in the later rounds. Arman has gotten better everywhere. Better striking, better on the submissions, better on the mentality of how to go, the championship round type fighting, Mendes said. He also recognized Makhachev's continued dominance in the division, highlighting his wrestling skills and overall proficiency. Mendes, however, made it clear that Makhachev remains the more accomplished fighter. Islam is pound for pound number one, Mendes emphasized, suggesting that Makhachev's dominance in the lightweight division is undeniable. Despite Tsarukyan's improvements, Mendes believes that Makhachev's experience and skill set will give him the edge in the rematch. Dustin Poirier, who has faced both Makhachev and Tsarukyan, shared his thoughts on the rematch as well. Poirier believes that Makhachev's striking has evolved significantly, which will pose a challenge for Tsarukyan. Islam's striking has really evolved. I think he's made leaps and bounds with the striking. I think Arman's going to have a tough time taking him down, so I think the fight will be on the feet until Islam decides to take him down, Poirier said. He noted that if the fight stays standing, Makhachev's crisp boxing will likely give him the advantage. Poirier, who has faced both fighters, acknowledged Tsarukyan's strength and resilience, but predicted that Makhachev's superior skills would lead him to victory. Meanwhile, Arman Tsarukyan remains unwavering in his belief that he can defeat Makhachev, despite the champion's overwhelming dominance. People think he's unbeatable, like a crazy wrestler, but I took him down when I was 22 years old, Tsarukyan stated with confidence. He emphasized his growth since their first encounter, noting that he's no longer the same fighter he was back in 2019. Billy Quarantillo also weighed in on the fight, acknowledging the excitement surrounding the rematch. He pointed out that Tsarukyan's short-notice fight against Makhachev had thrown the champion off a bit, but he still believes that Makhachev is on another level. I still think Islam's going to get it done, Quarantillo said, adding that the champion's full training camp will give him an even greater advantage in the rematch. The rematch between Makhachev and Tsarukyan is shaping up to be one of the most exciting and unpredictable matchups in UFC history. Both fighters have grown immensely since their first encounter, and the outcome of the fight could have significant implications for the future of the lightweight division. As UFC 311 approaches, fans will be eagerly anticipating this clash between two of the most talented and hungry fighters in the sport.